Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to walk through deleting the strobe lights, the floodlights, and the emergency light bar on my ambulance to camper conversion. Stick around and learn from my mistakes. This was so much harder than I ever thought it was going to be. This video will save you a ton of time and headaches if you want to do the same on your ambulance conversion. Let's get into it. This is the fifth light that I was popping out. First four were on the other side, and I think the first one that I got out took like 20 minutes, and it was just a matter of pulling out the screws, sticking a putty knife behind the aluminum bezel, and it just kind of popped out. The second one, I tried the same thing, and I think I spent an hour on that. It would not budge. I don't know what kind of sealant they use behind these things, but it's not your average silicone. It's some kind of like He-Man strength silicone. It's almost like they're welded in. I'm glad that this is the first place I started on this build, because every time you pop out these lights, you get to see what's back there. In this case, the first thing that I saw when I popped this off was the back of the AC unit that's in the box. The second thing I saw was, oh, the drain pan for this AC unit is actually broken off. With all of the floodlights and the strobe lights removed, it was time to move on to the light bar. Once you got the end caps off of these, you could just start sliding the components out. After that, you could just unscrew these end caps, cut away the sealant, and just pull them out. When I got to this point, it wasn't entirely clear how this was still being held on. There was some sealant on the top that I took a razor blade to, but there was no way that sealant was holding on this tight. So I went inside the cab. I think there's a bolt behind this panel. We'll take out that screw, and there's some two. Nope, it was going to take more than just taking out those screws. At this point, I realized that the entire fixture was blocked by a light housing that ran the full span of the box, so that had to come down. With the screws out, the light housing down, then I realized that the piano hinge for the electrical cabinet door was also blocking it, so that also had to come down. All right, moment of truth. All right, let's see if this thing's gonna come out now. Oh. No, it is still getting hung up. Over here. Could be. Is it just this? Sure enough, I had to cut out all this little plastic, whatever this is called here, and also up in the corner here. With the fixture down, I was able to see the bolts behind a mess of wires, and I was able to get my arms back in there, get those bolts out, and finally get this light bar down. With the light bar side quest over, I moved on to figuring out what I was going to replace the other lights with. I picked up some PVC sheet and some aluminum diamond plate. Here was the thinking behind the PVC. It's just as durable as plastic. It was the same thickness as the housing. It was only $20, so I thought, let's give it a shot. But I just didn't like the way it looked. The diamond plate looked much better. I definitely liked the look of it recessed inside of the housing. With the diamond plate that I had left, I was able to cut that down into 12 inserts. I decided not to radius the corners. Instead, I cut a 45-degree angle on those corners. Once they're inserted inside of that housing, you really can't tell. After that, it was on to sanding the edges of 12 inserts. With the edges sanded, I was able to move on to drilling holes for the screws, and I was able to use the housing as a jig so I could drill through a stack of about 6 at a time. With all of the inserts made, it was time to install them. All right, so I think that covers the basics of taking off this light bar and making these diamond plate inserts to cover up the strobe lights and the floodlights. A couple things I didn't go over in this is one, when I put these back in, I didn't seal behind the housing and I didn't seal behind the diamond plate. The reason I didn't do that is because I'm not entirely sure what I want to use all these for, and I don't think I'm going to take this vehicle out in the rain or the snow anytime soon, so I've got plenty of time to go back and seal those up. The other thing that I didn't cover too much is just how much I fought with the silicone. Um, I don't know what that adhesive is, but it's amazingly strong. They used it to fix these in here, so when you rip them out, it tends to break them. They also used it behind the housing. That's why it was so difficult to get that out. And behind, actually, where this goes into and mates to the housing, there's a big thick bead of it that you have to scrape off as well. If I just wanted to go back and cover up the lights that you see here, I actually wouldn't have removed the housing. I wouldn't have removed these. I would have done exactly what I did in the front here, which is just take off the lens, put this covering on. When you do that, it is flush with the housing, and I did that 45-degree cut, and it really shows when it's flush. It doesn't show as much when it's recessed inside of there. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the light bar, so if I decide to drive this anytime soon, I'm going to cover those holes up with some vinyl wrap. All right, I think that covers it. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see the rest of this build.